Hello, lovies. Good afternoon. Welcome to Going Live with Shelly Lazaro Express. So, again, this is the digital counterpart of my regular TV program on Net 25, Going Live with Shelly Lazaro.
Hello,
Hello,
lovies. Good
every
afternoon.
Saturday at 10 a.m. Um, it's a lifestyle, entertainment, and advocacy talk show. But since the ECQ started, we're doing this express edition. So, conversations with some of my friends whose companies are actually playing significant role in our situation now during this pandemic. Um, Please support all programs of Net25, and also you can catch me and my son Aiden on Pambansang Almusal, the daily morning show on Net25. We have stay-at-home tips segment there. We are currently live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Net25 TV, and all Eagle Broadcasting media channels. For any advertising, partnership, or collaboration inquiry, you may send an email sales at goinglivewithshellylazaro.com. We are currently on sale. So up to 80% discount on TV commercial placement. So please take advantage of that. Your placement will really go a long way because we are simultaneously broadcasting in 150 countries, and our show is weekly with replays on weeknights. And we have a strong viewership base, and it's multi-platform. So aside from TV, we have online, we have community events. Although now we will be practicing social distancing, but we have wide community reach because of the strong advocacy component of our show. So if you want to have your company or products promoted, just send us an email. Before we start, before I introduce to you our very special guest this afternoon, let me greet Eric Maningat, my super loyal makeup artist. Happy birthday! Thank you for everything. I miss our makeup session, so I can't wait to resume studio taping and production again because I don't know how to apply makeup and fix my hair. So, yes, I hope you're well and safe. Okay, so now it's very special because we have with us this afternoon a good friend, but I haven't seen him in a long time. He pioneered the French baking in the Philippines. So he launched the French Baker. Everybody knows the French Baker. He has over 60 branches now. I like this episode because France is one of my favorite countries, and Paris is my favorite city. And now, because I cannot travel, even if they allow us to travel already, I don't think I will have the confidence to travel for the next 12 months. So, this is the closest I can get to mga Parisian charming cafe. So this afternoon, we will find out from Johnlu, who is a marketing guru as well, the art and science of French baking. So we'll ask him also for tips. This will be useful for mga ano rin, mga small business owners because John Lu is really very good in marketing. That's his forte. So we'll ask him for tips. So wag na nating patagalin. Let's please welcome Johnlu Koa, the founder of the French Baker.
Salut.
Hi,
Salut,
Johnlu.
Shelly. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
We share the
Bon
same
ap- yes.
we share the same liking for Paris.
Oo, yun nga, 'di ba? I told you, I forgot I was talking to Chef Jessie ba? Parang Chef Jessie was with us naman last week. Parang I told her nga na every time, I know, nung Friday lang with the Bodies owners, parang I can't remember going to Europe without, stopping by, muna, Paris.
Same here.
'Di ba na parang that's my, most, visited European city talaga. Yon.
So you take
John
your
Lu,
flight from Charles de Gaulle.
yes. Oo, always. Kasi mas mura. If it's Manila, Paris, Manila, it's always airfares were
Ah,
so cheap. Oo. So John Lu, say hi muna to our viewers before we start.
yeah. Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to Going Live with Shelly Lazaro. Here's your French baker live.
Bon après-midi, tama ba? Good afternoon.
Oh,
John,
après-midi.
yes, let's talk about ECQ first. We want to know what have you been doing the past 2 months that the country is on ECQ.
Yes. Well, first of all, I wish everybody good health, and I wish everybody would take care of themselves and make sure that we follow the government uh, directive to follow distancing and of course to also follow proper hygiene. For 2 months now, we have been trying our best to continue to serve our consuming public with breads that they love. You know, it's really sad if you're at home and you cannot have the things you love to eat. It makes you really feel depressed. And I've got this from many friends who told me that the moment they see my product, they find joy. And I'm so happy to hear that.
So John, yeah, because especially now, 'di ba, prior to ECQ, you not rebranded, but you converted some of your restaurants. You changed the interiors. It's cozier now, 'di ba? I'm so happy every time I'm in any of
Yeah.
your restaurants.
Actually, we are, excuse me, we are 31 years already. And I think we've been through two changes. This is only the third change. So in 31 years, it's about once every 10 years. So it's just right. 10, 12 years, you change once.
Right. Okay. All right. So John, Lou, can you share with our viewers also your personal reflections, your realizations, not necessarily business related, when this pandemic happened?
Well, it happened almost all of a sudden. I was in actually we were in Europe. We were in Paris early January, and we already saw the beginnings of the pandemic. Actually, when we were there, we felt like we were viruses ourselves because uh, people did not people did not know the nature of the virus. So being Asians, being Chinese, we were tagged like coming from China. So the first thing we did was to respect people we meet. Uh, we had to put on the masks. Like nobody would do that in the airport. On the aircraft, we were lucky in the aircraft because the Cathay Pacific crew actually told us the situation and gave us 2 packs of face masks. So we survived on 2 packs of face masks as we traveled to Europe early in January for 2 weeks with my wife Marilu. And so we had already an inkling of what would happen, but we never thought that it could spread from China to the rest of the world and back to China. And so when we came back, I still remember not wanting to go to a lot of social events because we were already having flashback of what Europe was when we were there, especially in Italy, no? So, and in France, and as well as in Germany. So we were avoiding crowds already. In fact, I remember skipping two major social events. And so during one of the conventions of Go Negocio in Megamall, I
Mhm.
was distancing with my friends, and still you can feel that they somehow do not think it would be this bad. I was fist bumping, I was trying to cover my face, but I was a little bit jahe because they might think I think that they are sick.
Yeah.
And so that's the difficult part at the beginning. When you put on a face mask, you are afraid that somebody might, infect you, but really you don't want, you respect the person, you don't want to infect them. So it's a
Yes.
two-way street. So that was the difficulty at first. And now it became the rigueur for people now to put on mask. And I'm so happy that at least those people early part in February who saw me wanting to put mask could now probably better understand us. So going
Mm-hmm.
through the first 2 months meant also personal sacrifice on our part as entrepreneurs. As I've told my people, I said that we have a mandate to the community. Aside from the fact that we have to make some living, people need nourishment as well. And
Mm-hmm.
people need to munch on something, something reasonably priced, and also
Mm-hmm.
something that is freshly baked. I think there is something in baked goods that make us feel nourished and make us feel good as a human being.
Yes, yes. But any big personal lesson,
Well,
family, parang, because everyone, parang they're all saying now they really understand more the value and importance of family during this
yes,
time of crisis.
I explained to my family and my children that the government says this is a war with virus. And tell them that if you were to read history book, history is about wartime. What do people go through wartime? One,
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty. Two, you have to know your enemy. Three, you have to know how to duck. You have to iwas. Four, you have to be intelligent. There must be a way. There must be somehow a way to do things right. So if you do not allow yourself to go hungry, so if you can't buy food, learn how to cook. You
Right.
cannot find bread, learn how to bake. You cannot find love. Well, love is all over the place at home.
Yes.
You cannot find friends. Come on, go Zoom, go live, or whatever, go
Right.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And then if you cannot, and of course you can find God because God is everywhere for so long as there are two people, right? Or three people.
Yes.
Then God is
Yes.
there, right? So it's really a life-changing experience for me personally. I think I became a better cook. I'm now having more and more time to experiment on cooking technique. So if you've
Okay.
wanted to find that time to cook sous vide, this is the right time to cook sous vide because it is
So,
like a piece of meat wrapped in a plastic, put in a 35, 45-degree temperature water for so many minutes, maybe an hour or two. And so this is the time to make mistakes and learn from them.
uh-huh. Naku, Johnlu, so now hindi ka lang the French baker, the French cook, the French chef ka na now.
Why
But
not?
Johnlu, but you're correct. Even di parang, so what you're saying talaga is, right now, there are plenty of ways to not get caught up on the wrong side of this crisis, no? You really just have to look at that silver lining. Plenty of ways, no?
I
Yes.
think also, Shelly, for our viewers, this is the time that probably you take a break and you pause and you think about what is the future of humankind? The future, meaning to say, from the business point of view, for example, um, what will happen when trillions of pesos were taken out of the economy? Think of a piggy bank, binasag mo, punong-puno ng
Mm-hmm.
pereng alkansya mo. That's how people will spend. Now with the
Right.
COVID, people were locked down, the economy is not growing, basagin mo yung alkansya mo, kusing-kusing na lang natira. So without money, people cannot buy things. Without things being bought, there's no development, there's no employment, there's no tax collected, there's no freedom to spend on things that you want to buy. Now, what good will it do to you? So introspect. How do you live more simply? How do you eat more simply? How do you want to help other people who have no means for
Mm-hmm.
anything? And then, how do you find meaning in a life that is not governed by material things? How do you go about living when you cannot meet people, touch their hands, beso
Mm-hmm.
beso?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do these
Right.
things anymore? So you begin
Yes.
to think, what is the message behind all of these? And yet my friends tell me who live in Antipolo, Johnlu, you just have to come up. And I can go because I IATF pass, rapid QR pass.
Okay, all right.
Come here and you will see how beautiful the rest of Metro Manila is from our point of view. From their point of view, they see a beautiful city. From
Mm-hmm.
our point of view, we are those suffering inside our home. So we really
Exactly.
don't know what is this bringing us to? A better air to breathe for a short pause of 2 months?
Uh-huh.
Or some new, I don't know, technology, idea, directive, I don't know what, that will uh, make us more sensitive to the things we do. Do we continue to pollute? Do we segregate our garbage? Do we cook only enough for ourselves? Do we not want to
Mm-hmm.
be wasteful? So these are the things that I think about while I have time. In pre-COVID
Okay.
days, it's always
All
meeting to
right.
meeting,
Yes.
kitchen to
Yes.
kitchen.
O John Lu, naging ano that, grabe, it's so interesting to talk to you every time. We want to discuss the art and science of French baking, but lucky our viewers, diba? You've shared na, that's self-help, ano na, conversations already. Like, John, Lu, let's take a short icebreaker. We have a short game for you. This is a
Oh, sure.
non-physical game. We call this or that. So all my guests, they have to play this. They go through this. So easy lang. I have 10 questions for you. Each question, I have 2 words. You just have to tell me your option, your choice, without defending your answer. Fast talk, okay? Number
Sure.
one. This is for fun, so you don't have to think
Oh,
about it.
sure.
The first ano
Ah,
that comes to mind. One, first, white or wheat?
white or wheat? White.
Whole wheat or sourdough?
Sourdough.
French or Taiwanese?
Ah, sige, French na lang.
Okay. Oh, mas marami yung French branches. Um, third question. Fourth. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Makati or Quezon City?
QC.
Mass or niche?
Mass.
Low or high?
Hi.
Local or international?
International.
Sales or marketing?
Marketing.
O last, baguette or croissant?
Croissant.
Oo, croissant. Correct, correct. French nga pala tayo, French. Okay, so, okay, John Luna, we want to inspire. One of the reasons also why we're doing this one-on-one conversations during the ECQ, the Express Edition, we really want to inspire the viewers because all you hear now, diba, when you watch the news, when you look at social media, it's all COVID-19 negative news, diba, depressing. So now we want to inspire them. Mga success stories, not just of the companies, but also the one who founded and running the companies. We, ayun. And you have one of the most, inspiring and successful stories of all the
Thank you.
entrepreneurs, businessmen that I know.
Wow.
Okay, we start with your UP Diliman days, 'di ba?
Yes,
You were a student leader in UP Diliman. You were president of UP I did my assignment. You were president of UP Junior Marketing Association.
that's right.
Can
So
you
when I,
share with
yeah,
us
I
like
was, yes. When I was when I was applying for college, I actually got accepted, modesty aside in all. And because I come from a Jesuit school, it was very convenient for me to just hop over Xavier to Ateneo.
Mhm.
And then I'm so glad that our neighbor told me, sabi niya, with your talent, I think, why don't you try something different for a change? Why don't you go to UP? Because I was accepted already. And
Mhm.
so when I when I was accepted by all, I decided to just let go of everything, and I just went straight to UP and got in. No? And I realized that in UP, it was the exact opposite of everything you want, and yet it is everything you want. So when you
Mm-hmm.
entered, I had a certain vision of what I want, but when I got in, everything I wanted, I could not get, but everything I should have, I got. I got connections, I got training, I got academic excellence, and then I got student leadership. That is something which I did not expect to get, which I got in the end that made me better. So that was my UP days. And don't forget also, after a year of working, I went back to teach. I
Yes.
went back teaching. That from one
You,
year
you,
promise, it became 15 years.
15 years. Yes. Wow. And
Yes.
teka, you forgot to mention, you got so many things from UP. You forgot to mention medals. You got plenty of medals. You graduated also UP Diliman with honors. Can you share this? Ano
Oh
to?
yeah.
Suma ba to? Or manya ba to?
So when I was in UP, I got cum laude, not because I did not try hard enough, but I was a working student. My mom operated a chain of restaurants when I was just 13 years old. So I decided to do to close the evening shift from after my 5:30 class. I would go to Cubao to be the closing manager until 10 o'clock and accompany my
Mm-hmm.
mom to come home.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people know about this. But of course, at that time, I had a car. So I could just drive her with some
Mm-hmm.
employees home. And so I was doing student leadership work, and then I was doing part-time work, daily ito ha, and then also enrolled in school. And so that kind of multitasking was kind of taxing that I could not
Mm-hmm.
deliver so much more to get into the higher honors. But that doesn't mean that we did not learn much. It just meant that probably my focus was already on entrepreneurship very early on in life. And really, ask, I did not really gun for medals or honors. It was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at the end of the sem, I said, "Oh, was I really that good?" In spite of not doing that, putting in that much, I still could make it to cum laude. But later on, when I re-enrolled in MBA school, honors din naman.
'Di ba? Talaga si Johnlu, very ano, you're gifted in all aspects. Sa business, 'di ba,
Matyaga lang,
intellect,
matyaga.
lahat. But Johnlu, you're a self-taught baker.
That's
You
right.
never
I
really
am.
went up to now ba? Or you've ano na, along the way you've taken na rin mga baking courses?
Yeah. Well, it was self-taught in the sense that when I was in UP teaching, I did not have the time to enroll for a real, not a real, a formal course. Because when you're in school teaching, and I had my business, you couldn't break out from it all for at least 1 year. If you go formal culinary training, you need 1 year to do it. You cannot
Uh-huh.
go putol-putol. And
Yes.
then many chef entrepreneurs are like myself. We are self-taught, but we focus on our own skills development. Knife skills can be taught, but they cannot be mastered in one
Yeah.
semester. Cooking skill, baking skill, pastry skill, chocolate skill, sugar art skills. These are skills that you get to know about it, but you have to practice. So
Uh-huh.
over the last 41 years since graduation, I can say that I went to many of the best schools in the world. That much.
John John Lu, let's talk about the history of French baker. I know your fascination with the French mga artisanal bakery started when you did a backpacking trip sa Europe, right? That's when you got your exposure and Okay, be the one to tell us how it all started.
Well, I was already nearing 30. I was about, excuse me, 27 years old. And then I thought to myself, I said at that time, I was actually college secretary already of the UP College of Business. And I said to myself, I'm nearing 30, and just exactly what have I done? I have been home all this time. I have not gone out. I shun all offers to study abroad. I believe that I focus my time locally. I don't need a foreign education, foreign diploma for what? Then at 26, 27, I felt this urge. I said, I should see the world. What is the world like? And you know, the world that is America to us is a world we are so used to. I
Mm-hmm.
said, which other world should I see more first? So I decided it must be Western Europe because at that time there was still Checkpoint Charlie, there was still East Germany and USSR. So
Mm-hmm.
I went as far as East Germany for the experience
Wow.
of cutting through, yeah, cutting through the Brandenburg Gate, getting a pass, paying 5 Deutschmarks to be able to get in, or was it 3 Deutschmarks, whatever? Because you have to convert your money from Westmark to Eastmark, and you can only take out change in Eastmark. So all of the tourists went there to take home Eastmark as a
Mm-hmm.
souvenir, only to realize that 4 years after, it would be the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that? So I was able to
Yeah.
experience the Berlin Wall. So when I went to Europe, I realized uh, how different we are and how small we have become as a country. Because you just go through few hours of train ride, then you see a new
I lost audio. Okay. I think we lost Johnlu, but he's gonna sign in again. Okay, he lost his audio. Okay, we're gonna wait for Johnlu to sign in again. Okay, okay. So the production team is coordinating with him already. So for those who just tuned in, we have with us the founder and chairman of the French baker, Mr. John Lucoa. He pioneered the French bakery cafe category here in the country. So the French baker is here since what 1989. Okay, you're back. All right. We lost
Yeah, I
you
just took
lost
off
your
my
audio.
earbuds.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I lost my earbuds. I've been
It's
zooming this
okay.
morning for 4 hours. Maybe it ran out of battery. So
Okay, John Lu.
so when I was in Europe, I saw a lot of opportunities for a Filipino. That was at the time when the Philippines was about to transition from dictatorship to democracy. So a lot of people were betting on the success of the new Philippine democracy. So investments were coming in, malls were coming up. They needed investors. They needed players in
Mm-hmm.
the food industry. So I was one of the fortunate many who were invited to go in and set up a store in SM City North EDSA.
Yeah.
So that was the
S
start.
SM was the one who that approached you, correct? Mm-hmm. This
Yes,
was in
because
1987.
1989 actually,
89. Okay, okay. All right.
because my classmate at that time was one of the children of Tatang, and I have been already supplying to their supermarket, SM Supermarket, under the brand Super Duper, if the people still
Okay.
remember.
I
I was one of the biggest supplier of breads
All
in the
right.
supermarket actually. So
But
my classmate told me, why don't you consider putting up a store? And I remember the first thing I did was to present a feasibility study on the French baker. And when I submitted to the leasing manager,
I
the
lost.
feedback was, are you sure you want to do this because it was so foreign, it was so uncommon, and nevertheless they gave me the space. And as they say, the rest is history.
That's why you're very loyal to SM, no? Most of your restaurants and branches talaga, if not all, it's in SM, right? But John Lu, you know what's really interesting? When you establish this, your business, the French Baker, when you decided to do this was the time that people were not buying baguettes or croissants. They're not introduced to those types of breads yet. Diba, 80s, pandesal. It's pandesal generation. But you
Yeah.
introduced French baking in the Philippines.
Shelly, I was able to pick up the idea from the post-EDSA revolution people that a lot of reverse brain drain was happening. So those that left during the Marcos years are now returning. These are mostly Filipinos who've worked in New York,
Mm-hmm.
Filipinos
Right.
who had hid themselves there. Then they brought home with themselves some special liking for not just baguette, because I even do bagels. You will not believe me. I do bagels, I do muffins, I
Yes.
do wraps, you know, things that you cannot find in a normal supermarket. I have it. And so when they bring these things home, this liking for these beautiful bagels and baguette and croissant, somebody should be there to sell to them. And I happen to know a little bit more marketing. So
Yes.
I played niche marketing at that time. Niche means to say that small market, high markup, you're okay. If you go mass, small markup,
Right.
you're okay. You have volume. So I
Yes.
played the niche game until SM was able to open a lot of stores, and I became perceived. I became a mass to the middle class. It's a
You,
middle class
yeah.
mass market.
Right.
So I initially started with niche. Then later on, I went to the upper middle class mass market, if there's such a word.
But John Lu, one of my favorite parts of the story of the French baker is your SEC. This was your challenge that time with SEC, the time when you were trying to register the French baker. SEC wouldn't allow you because you're not French. And they're saying it's
Oh
like
yeah,
deceiving
you
the
really
public because
you really research a lot. I don't
yes,
know where
and
you got
then
that, but it's true.
you went to FDA, to the Food and Drug Authority, and you brought your baguette there. And FDA was the one that gave you the endorsement. So you finally got the French baker registration.
Yeah, first I had somebody apply for me at SEC, and it was taking forever to get approval. But today I think it's very easy. And so I couldn't believe myself. I said, and then I was too idealistic at the age of 27. And I said, let me talk to them, just what's happening. So when I went to them, they told me that the word the French baker was deceptive. In their words, DECPTIV. So, and then I asked them, what do you mean by deceptive? Then they told me, deceptive. That means you deceive. You're out to deceive. And then I said, oh, bakit kami deceptive? You mean to say, tell me, Saisaki is a Filipino company by Triple
Uh-huh.
V. Excellent ang kanilang tempura, teriyaki. Nagdi-deceive ba sila ng tao? And then I was very, very, quite honestly speaking, really angry. Why,
Mm-hmm.
why are they biased against us small players? So they said, sir, I can help you. I'll write you an endorsement, endorse you to FDA. Bahala na lang sila. So I carried the document, first endorsement. Can you imagine? For the first time, I came across a word, endorsements spelled with an I. Endorsement. And so
Okay.
dala-dala ko yung material. endorsement, huh? Endorsement, not endorsement. I
Okay.
really don't know.
Endorsement. Okay. All
So I
right.
thought to myself, I said, if I was to deceive somebody, then I must be a fake. But let my product speak
Mm-hmm.
for myself. And if I could not pass FDA, the common Tao's perception of what is French, then I should just leave it aside and go back teaching, enroll in the US for a PhD degree, and then live the rest of my life as an academic. So there I went one fateful morning with at least maybe 4 or 6 bags of my
Uh-huh.
product. So I went there and talked to this lawyer. The lawyer was really nice. She's a lady, about 50-ish. By this time, she probably would have been retired, and I'm sure that if I could meet her again in person, I would like to profusely thank her for believing in me 31 years after. So she, after just looking at the papers and looked at me and asked just a few questions, so what do you do?
Uh-huh.
After narrating this in my 2 minutes, she put down her head, scribbled some note, attached it to the document, and thanked me for the product because there were lots of people in FDA and said, "Oh, Mr. Kowa, congratulations. I do not think you are deceiving anybody."
They finish your baguette.
Yes, it's emotional.
And ayan na, the rest is history.
Yeah, that's right.
John Lu, let's talk about your market innovations. And there's plenty talaga under your belt. Well, it's you're a marketing guru, so no wonder that you introduce so many uh new ideas when it comes to baking here or cafe business in the Philippines. First, you're the first to introduce the open baking, the on-site
Yes, that's right.
baking, like yeah. Can you share with us a little bit about that strategy of yours or that business move?
Yeah. During the early 80s, when I used to frequent Paris as a student backpacking and on a very low budget, my go-to place for lunch would always be a boulangerie where you can get cheeses and you can get meats, and then of course you get their favorite pastry, and you can live by $3 easy. $3. Everything is like, in those days you don't pay euro, you pay francs. So $3 is probably like a little bit, well, enough for you to buy a drink and a piece of bread and some salami and cheese. So I would go there and then buy these and then eat it the whole day, walking around the area, Saint Germain, here and there. And then somehow it got to me. It got to me na parang this business is worth doing. And yet parang ang hirap, and yet parang ang saya. And I would
Mm-hmm.
always see a French speaker every few moments coming out of their bakeries inside and start to do something, some theatrical show, whether cutting, whether holding the dough, this and that. And that stuck to my mind. I said, what if I did that? And so when I designed the bakery with some consultants, they said, I don't want to hide it. I want to show it. And I was actually cautioned by many and say, hey, are you not afraid that your secrets might be
Uh-huh.
stolen or what? I said, on the contrary, if people believed in me, that I am who I am, you see how it is made, then they will have more confidence in my product. I remember, for example, in the past, after many years, there was a beautiful donut place who was so successful frying donuts. And all of a sudden, they started to put up Manila paper on their glass window to prevent people from peeping into the system. How is my donut fried?
Mm-hmm.
Then I told at the time I told my nephew, who was only 17 years old, I said, "Oh, Mike, I'm so saddened by what's happening. This is the beginning of the end. When you try to hide
Yeah.
something away from people, people get turned off. They enjoy how it is made, and the natural tendency for them is to enjoy the final product. But if you cover it up and keep it as though it was the biggest secret in the world, then you miss half the enjoyment. You didn't see how it was
Uh-huh.
made. You didn't see that the
Uh-huh.
next donut coming out was fried 10 seconds ago. And so I brought all of these insights and said, if I could do it, then I could stand out. And if I could stand out, I could have a better chance of surviving the fight in the malls. And I've been doing that for 31 years.
And John Lu, you're also the pioneer. You pioneered the end of day sale. Now all restaurants and bake shops are doing that, no? Yung and like mga leftover breads, the breads that haven't been sold, diba? At the end of the day, you get it 50% discount. French Bakers, the one that did that first.
Yes, actually, it came from a customer on the first week of our opening. There was a customer who frequented our place very often and asked me that question. Excuse me, what do you do if you don't sell? I was probably at the time tired and impertinent. I said, what do you think I should do? After working in UP teaching and then visiting the store, and then at 7:30 people ask you these things, then you tend to become humorous and say, what do you suggest? Then he said, oh, if can you sell it at a discount? And then I said, oh, sure, I can. How much will it make sense to you? Sabi sa akin, maybe 50 off. I said, you sure? Yeah. And I said, okay, come back tomorrow night. I dropped the price 50 off. That was 31 years
Okay.
ago.
John Lu, your all-time bestsellers are croissants and your turnovers, right?
Sorry, yes.
Your
Yeah.
those two are your all-time bestsellers. And this is this is so saucy information. I just found out that um in 2 months, every 2 months, you are consuming 2 tons of French Normandy butter for your
Oh, how'd you
croissants
know
and
that?
turnover. See, I really did my research and assignment. I mean,
Actually, Chelly, it's more
oh,
na.
yes.
It's
More
more
na
na.
now. So how many tons? Oh,
Uh,
and friends, can you explain that?
every
That
3 months,
French Normandy butter?
we consume roughly 20 tons.
Okay.
So we have already like upscaled because we're now all over the Philippines up to Davao, 3 stores, Cebu, 3 stores,
Okay.
and more are supposed to come. So we have
Okay.
actually upscaled already. And the reason why
Okay.
we use Norman butter is just simply that the best way to get closest to the original product is to use the original ingredients. That's my philosophy. There are cheaper alternatives, but I decided to stick to the original. And then the croissant, the butter in croissant is a special kind of butter they call fractionated butter because the milk has several butter molecules, and each molecule will melt differently or will melt at different temperatures. So what the manufacturer of butter does is they get the milk fats that melt more or less at the same degree together that will perform better inside the croissant as baked. So that's what the one they sell to us. So think of
Okay.
butter as the most ideal butter fat that is suitable for croissant. That's what they're
And
using.
yeah, so you're the supplier of Johnlu Coa, the French baker, the butter supplier, only uses cows that
That's
grace
true.
Normandy, right?
Do you know how large their
That
cows are? It's taller
how?
than you and me. It's
Oh,
taller. Their Norman cows are so tall. It's about probably 6 feet or 5 feet tall, and
okay.
the body is like the size of an SUV.
So it's
And
like
then
double the size of our cows here, of our carabaos.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. And you know why it tastes so good? Because in the in the coastline in the north, diba? They have a they the as the waves hit the coast, the cliffs, they atomize a lot of seawater over to the meadows. It settles in the grass, and then they are the natural fertilizers, all these minerals.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the cows kind of graze there every so often, and then they imbibe natural grass that fortifies their organs, to make milk, and then the flavor of the fresh grass that comes from the sea. That's because of the atomized air, the air, diba, when the ocean waves hit
Yes.
the shore, and then
Yes.
you have like clouds of misted water, seawater going over the meadows. That's the secret. You can't find it elsewhere. It's pretty much like
That's
also
why.
like
So the milk, it's very nutritious. That's why.
oh, it's bango, and then it is it contains those butter fats that you want to use for croissant. Not that
Right.
all other croissant butter are not good. No, I'm not saying that.
Yes.
It's just that if you want to make butter the way the French does it or do it, you gotta use their butter.
Right. But this one, John Lu, you are known. Everybody, when they talk to you, you always tell them when we talk about your breads and all, that you like making hard to make breads. You don't just make yung mga breads that are commonly used or can be bought in all other bakeries, no? When you say hard to make bread, what do you mean?
Well, Shelly, if you research online how to make bread,
Right.
most of the people will tell you, the bloggers there, and the instructional video will say, mix all the ingredients together, mix until elastic, let it rise 1.5 hours until double in bulk, punch a hole, let it deflate, form the dough, let it proof or rise, and then bake. That is perfectly fine. But that's only for beginners to amateurs. But in professional baking, you are
Okay.
trying to add sweetness without adding sugar. You're trying to add aroma without adding flavoring. Oh, that's a beautiful ube cheese pancit
That's
called
so
that.
that's the ube cheese. So yummy. But
So we want to
yeah.
create flavors through the process of yeast fermentation. Give it time. Time. All you need in bread making is flour, water, salt, and yeast. In yeast, we are now using more and more natural yeast. These are wild yeast that are from the air that you develop together with your flour dough. So, yeast from the wild yeast imbibe a certain flavor and a certain aroma that commercial yeast cannot. And so, time
Uh-huh.
with fermentation, with a lot of time, it takes from 8 hours to 16 hours to make a piece of bread. It with that length of time, you're able to create new flavor dimensions. And of course, the flavor dimensions, you have to play around with flours like sorghum, like rye, like wheat, like teff, like millet,
Uh-huh.
whatever. Then you play around with all of these kinds of flour to create a new product. So if it's so easy as in pandesal, everybody can do it. But how about pandesal with sourdough, pandesal
Yes.
with the sponge,
Right.
etc., etc. So it's more interesting, it's more challenging for for a person to be able to create something sweet without adding more sugar, something more delicious without something more delicious without putting a lot of milk. You can achieve that.
But
So it's
John
really
Lu,
hard.
to put it, because Filipinos, most Filipinos, we like yung mga soft and mushy white bread. But we want to tell them now because we also want, we are committed to actually promoting products that are healthy and nutritious. White bread, it's not very healthy, right?
Actually, right now, there are two schools of thought.
Okay.
Those that believe uh, there are many diet systems. Those that believe that you should only eat low carb, they lose weight. Those who believe in fit for life,
Okay.
where you, for example, combine it correctly, protein cannot mix with carbs,
Okay.
carbs cannot mix with protein, then you lose weight as well. I'm a believer
Okay.
of fit for life, where the proper combination
All right.
determines how fast you lose weight or fast you grow weight. But what is important really is the person eating or choosing the diet must know what fits you. You know, so there are persons who are
Okay. Right.
naturally allergic to gluten. So when they're allergic to gluten, then of course you don't want to feed them with a lot of white flour. You want to feed them with probably a lot of sourdough because sourdough has
All right.
etc., etc.
Right.
That makes them less gluten sensitive. Sourdough is what is good for people who are gluten
Okay.
insensitive, for example. So in both cases, it's okay. White and wheat, they're okay. It's just really what their bodies can tolerate.
But is it true, John Lu, that white bread actually can shoot up your blood sugar levels?
Yes, that is true.
Yes. Okay.
Well, it's a scientific fact, really, because white bread, um, uh, the wheat is
Yes.
90% starch, 10% protein, more or less.
Okay.
Maybe it's not.
Okay. All right.
It's to be 85% starch, 5% bran, and 10% um, protein, for the sake of argument. So you have a lot of wheat. The thing is,
Uh-huh.
when when you get whole wheat, the bran and the wheat germ are mixed together in one blended powder. So when you eat that, the bran slows down the absorption by the bloodstream of the glucose. Think of bran particles like brakes.
Uh-huh.
So what you don't want is rapid absorption of glucose because your sugar level will spike. It will cause you to become hyperactive. It will cause your heart to beat faster. It will give you a momentary high. And then once it is depleted after 15 minutes to 30 minutes, it drops. And when it drops, you become lazy, you
Uh-huh.
become weakened, and then that's what they call the sugar low. And for dietitians, they don't want your sugar in blood to spike because when your sugar spikes and goes down, up and down, your system, your adrenaline will have a hard time adjusting to it, releasing a lot of adrenaline, and then keeping back on adrenaline or insulin because we produce insulin. So
Mm-hmm.
doctors wouldn't want you to eat things that will cause your body to release insulin, high amounts of insulin, because the body might get used to it, and your pancreas might get into trouble someday.
I
That's
will
the reason behind.
I will stop
So
eating
what you
white
do?
bread.
No, what you do when you eat white, you balance it with a little protein.
Okay.
So
All
you get
right.
a glycemic index of less than 1.
All right.
So if your glycemic index is low, sugar being 1, like table white
Okay.
sugar is not 1. So you eat it, go straight because it's refined. So if you eat a
Okay.
little egg, well, you're okay.
Okay.
You eat a
So if
little
you want, if I only want to eat bread and I don't want to pair it with something else, I will eat sourdough. So it's
no,
healthy. So it's sure that
again,
it's healthy.
sourdough is this. Compared to all of the commercial brands, sourdough includes only flour, water, salt, and wild yeast. That's all.
All right.
Flour,
Okay.
water, salt, and wild yeast. What makes white bread really not that desirable in many cases is the presence of vegetable oil, is the presence of butter fat, and in the presence of lactose from milk, milk powder, liquid milk, whichever milk, and of course sugar. Sugar
Okay.
makes it sweet. So with these ingredients in dough, it makes that white less preferable than the white that is made out of flour, water,
Right.
salt, and yeast.
Right.
And you're right. Your favorite city in Paris makes excellent baguette just based out of four key ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. If you just ate that piece of baguette, you will not take in the sugar, the butter, fat, and of course, the
Yeah.
others.
John Lu, I never expected our conversation to be this scientific, ha? We're learning a lot from you. You know what, like my son, Aiden, he's addicted to Yakult. But for some reason, for the last several weeks, it's so hard to find Yakult. It's always sold out. So what I will do, I will just give him sourdough bread from the French baker because it has
Pero,
lactobacilli also.
Shelly, Shelly,
And yeast, yes.
no, remember the satisfaction of taking Yakult is very different from bread.
Yeah, yes. But at least
You're
he will get the same nutritious value.
Shelly,
The nutritional
sourdough.
value is there.
Sourdough is in a sense a probiotic bread, but the
Uh-huh.
probiotic would have been already neutralized by heat.
Okay.
So you get the benefits of probiotic when you eat the bread. Because of the probiotic, the
So
bread
nicer
is
restaurants, oh.
oh, that's l'artisan, beautiful.
Ah,
Oh,
that's
beautiful.
yeah, yes.
That's in
Which
Ayala
branch is
30th.
this? Where? Where is this?
Ayala
Ayala
30th.
30th. Yes. Do you know John
It's
Lu?
in
We're talk
Ortigas.
Yes. I want to talk about the growth and expansion of French Baker. But before I go that, very quickly lang, I want to commend lang for the information of everyone because I love my croissants, I love my breads and everything. So whenever I eat sa mga French bakeries talaga, not all of them are offering yung sourdough as part of their regular menu. Sometimes you have to
Yeah,
request it pa. But French baker, it's one of your staples, right?
yeah, but
They,
Shelly, good news. We're coming out with a soft edition of sourdough.
okay, all right.
So because our jaws, our Asian jaws,
Yes,
are
yes.
like Asian jaws that they can hunt down a big piece of meat.
Okay.
So us to be able to chew, it takes some difficulty.
Okay.
Now, because the process of sourdough is souring up or creating an acidity level that is so high, or the pH that is so low, that creates this tough texture. The real sourdough is really tough, so we're trying to
Yeah.
blend in some flours in order to soften it and still have the benefit of like a probiotic bread without the live lactobacilli. So going back to Alden, he wants the flavor of live cultured
Yes. Lact
lactobacillus.
yes, yes.
That
The
lacto
lactobacilli
means
shirota
from
strength.
milk.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's from the milk, no, the bacteria from milk that
right.
is in the milk, bacteria that is in the milk. Um, so he wants that cultured
But it's
bacteria
not
in
from
milk.
ano. I want to introduce him to sourdough because yung Yakult, the milk naman, it's not from It's not from Normandy. I want
No,
from
ano man,
Normandy. Oh, but John Lu,
you have to
yes.
buy French brand.
John Lu, you have okay, aside from because you're the French baker now has 65, correct ba? 65 branches or more. We currently
Still
have
counting.
65. All right,
We took a
65
break.
branches and counting. You also own, ito yung pinakita natin kanina, the Lartisan
Chain.
Cafe.
Yeah.
And then
That's no,
chat
that's
time.
a this is a French traditional restaurant.
Not everybody knows also that you own chat time. The
Yeah, we
very
are already
popular,
145 stores. Yeah.
okay. How many doors do you have? Yung total for all your
About
brands.
225.
225 stores. Okay. Are they all in the malls?
No, more and more we are going outside of the malls. Not
Okay.
because there are no opportunities, but because we have to
All
service
right.
a larger clientele.
Okay.
Like for example, for chat time, we are now very much into expanding through the Shell Select stores, the Shell Delhi to Go stores, sorry,
Okay.
Delhi to Go. And then we would
And
have also in call center buildings for chat time.
I forgot to mention, you also brought in Mazendo.
Yes,
Is
Mazendo.
it an international brand, Mazendo, from Taiwan, right? From
Yeah,
Taiwan, or is it your
it's
local concept? No, it's not your
it's a
own
Taiwanese.
concept, right? It's okay.
No, it's a Taiwanese beef
Okay.
noodle. We have two
All
stores,
right.
one in Tordesillas and then the other one in S. Mason, S.
Yeah.
Mason, Marquisha.
Do you have franchisees, or everything is company owned
For chat time, we have a lot of franchisees.
for Chatay? But the French baker, it's all company
French
owned.
Baker with financial partners with us.
Okay. All right. How many employees do you have right now, John Lee?
For French Baker, just a little over 700 people.
Seven. Okay. All right.
And then for chat time, since many are franchised already, we probably have within our system close to about less than 300.
I was able to try because this was very recent, no? You introduced this last year. Um, you have your espresso counter. You have uh, is it Piaceto? Piaceto. It's an Italian brand, no? Piaceto coffee?
Yeah, espresso.
Piaceto coffee, yes. So this is
Yeah,
only
it's
for
yeah,
French baker. You have this also in L'artisan, the Piaceto.
yeah. These are for both stores. These are for
Okay.
both brands. As long as as long as the market wants a
So French
strong.
baker has Italian coffee.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So French Italian ka na. So
yeah. Because
John,
Italy for coffee.
okay, yes. But what's interesting now is even prior to this ECQ, to this pandemic, you've already introduced that online thing eh. Like when you go to the counter, you just present your cell phone. Parang you can order prior. So it's contactless transaction,
Yes, we already started in some stores, and
right?
the rollout was just disrupted by the lockdown. But we believe that we have to come up with innovation. We have to
Uh-huh.
also excite the market, and one way of being relevant is through the use of technology. Because if we don't create something exciting, an e-menu for the store, you go in, you point your camera on the QR code, it takes you to an in-store, and then
Yes.
you go in, you put your, and then you QR code your table number, la la la, and then you put in what you want, etc. And then it goes wirelessly to the cashier, etc. And then we ask the customer to please pay before we process. Pretty much like delivery online, but it's delivery inside the store.
Okay.
And so that
You're really ahead of your competitors. But John
yeah,
Lu,
that
let's talk
that was
about the
very
effects
exciting.
of this crisis to your business. Financials.
Well, everybody is tremendously impacted. As I've told many mentees, this is probably a time when you probably will not be able to sustain your operations from internally generated cash. And of course, we have to be thankful to our suppliers for believing in us. Otherwise, if they stop the flow of credit, it stops the flow of your it stops your ability to produce. So thank God our supplier creditors still believe in the brand, believe in the market. Everybody knows
Mm-hmm.
this is momentary. The moment we find something, a breakthrough, I think people will see it as a sign of still love to go to the malls because
Uh-huh.
habits are really hard to break. And so financially, you have to take out tens of millions to sustain. This is given. It's just only a matter of size. The bigger you are, the bigger will be your takeout. For example, I read somewhere that Mr. Luciatan pumped in 13.5 billion
Uh-huh.
just to be able
Uh-huh.
to sustain
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
employees without flying the planes. Tayo naman, we have to also pump in millions in order to meet payroll for
Right.
those who have not worked but who will have to be compensated by advancing their 13 months pay, their sick leave, and vacation.
Right. Right.
So
But
if you're running like altogether thousands of employees, then you must have the means to do that. So it's a tremendous pressure. It's a challenge to be able to continue. And this is the reason why I'm very
but
closely in contact with DTI, with Secmon Lopez,
all
with
right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ruth Castello, giving them ground information about our
Right.
people, our process,
Right.
logistics, our market, what they want. And we just really have to thank the government. And I would like to tell that your viewers that this government, through the Department of Trade, is really, very, very attuned to the needs of the entrepreneurs. They know our heartaches and they're trying their very, very best to lead us out of
Yeah.
unfulfilling descriptions. Whether you're a barber, you're a
But
parlor operator, whether you are a restaurant, whether you
right.
are a tea shop, they just want to make sure that you will be able to come in as quickly as possible, given all of the
Mm-hmm.
safeguards that you will be putting in place. I have not seen a Department of Trade this this proactive, a DTI this proactive, asking us, tell us how we can help you, tell us what you need.
Right.
I'm really so heartened by their efforts, and we really have to wholeheartedly thank them. And one day, should the ban on restaurant dining be lifted earlier than expected, you know who to thank. It's the
Yes.
DTI.
All
Together in
right.
consultation
And
with the stakeholders like ourselves.
Johnlu, since you already mentioned that eventually, when the government would already allow the reopening of the restaurants for dine-in, what's your at the rate we're going? Do you think when will this happen?
The lifting, I think people are expecting by the end of the month we will be in NCR on GCQ.
Already. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So the restaurants are still on supposedly bawal dine in, but we're going very fast because the restaurant groups like the one I'm with is already coming up with recommendations to DTI on how to ensure that the protocol set by DTI in Dole will be in place so that there will be no violation and there will be no infection. And we're actually talking about,
So Johnlu,
we're
how
actually
is it
talking about,
gonna look like now? Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm talking about testing our frontliners already.
Oh,
Voluntary
okay. All
testing.
right.
It's not a requirement by Dole or DTI or DOH, but it is now a private sector initiative to do the rapid testing with 85% accuracy, in spite of 85% accuracy. We do it
Okay. All right.
every so often for the sake of the consuming public. We want to show them that even with asymptomatic frontliners, we at the very least still want to test. And we probably will come up with a dog collar test, something like that.
John Lu, can you paint us a picture of the new normal now? Like what should we expect from your restaurants when we go there and dine in? How is it gonna look now?
So I think everybody will still, you will feel probably like you went to a Mercury drugstore or a Watson drugstore. I think there will be lots of face shields, lots of
Okay. All right.
shields, face shields, lots of that. And then what is more important here is is just that among the restaurateurs, we're coming up with a set of easy to follow guidelines. Like somebody suggested that everything that has to be sanitized within so many minutes of use would be colored, let's say yellow, the green, and blue.
Okay. All right.
This should be automatic on everybody that if it's a blue colored something, you gotta sanitize it. If it's a red, you
Okay.
sanitize it every so many minutes or
Okay.
hours or like that. Your toilet must have not just paper and water, must your soap must be your soap, not slippery water, and things like
Yes.
that.
How
And then
about
maybe they will have
capacity? Janlo
yeah,
capacity.
the capacity
Are
is
you
fine.
only allowed like 50%? 50 or even lower? Half talaga. Okay. And are you putting this mga glass partition
Yes,
on the
yes, you will see it
table?
in
Okay.
French paper and
All right.
L'Artisan. The ones from
Okay.
L'Artisan will be made in France, though,
Okay. Oh, wow. From France. But you're not
with
having a
security
hard time
glass
importing
and
now.
polish steel.
Okay. For the information of everyone, the French baker is open for deliveries, right? Takeout
Yes,
and
yes.
deliveries, right? All your branches or not? Not all.
Yeah, they can go online. The French baker on
Okay.
the French baker delivery online.com.
All right. So they can see now sa screens nila the delivery details. So you can
Yeah,
visit their website, their social media,
yeah.
and also there's delivery number there. We'll also post it sa
We're
comment
doing that for a while
section.
already.
So yes. All right. Okay.
We've been doing it for a few weeks now.
All right. Okay. So this is not just French baker. Lartisan also Mazendo and Chatime.
No, chat time. We're on the usual platform of Foodpanda,
All right. Okay. All
Yellow
right.
Food, etc. As well as French Baker. They don't have a dedicated one,
All right.
but in the
Okay.
French Baker, we decided to dedicate one for ourselves because the demand is getting to be more and more
All
unpredictable.
right.
Because if it's called into the store, ang gulo. And then we wanted people to have
All
discipline
right. Okay. All
of
right.
making up their mind, planning for the purchase, expecting it to be accepted after delivery, paying before we deliver, of course, you know what I mean. And then for L'Artisan, since the market is not that widespread, we have we have key customers who will call and we will just deliver.
Okay. John Lu, when do you see yourself doing expansions again? Amidst this crisis, do you have expansion plans? I'm very curious. Because you
Well,
always, I know
actually,
you defy the odds all the time.
no, remember we have many projects on the
Okay.
pipeline which we have to reopen our French baker in Okada together with Chatime. We
Okay.
we were shut down when they rezoned, and then now that we were trying to start construction, then COVID came, so we stopped. And then we were
Okay.
halfway through our building of a beautiful store in SM Olongapo Central, and it's been stopped. And then we have
Okay.
like 5 to 6 stores that needed the renovation, and we could not continue for obvious reasons. So our customers can expect us to be around. Maybe post-COVID, they will probably have to get used to it. You cannot really shake hands. You cannot beso. You have to get used to the
Right.
new distancing. You have to get used to talking people with half of their face exposed or covered. And I think you will probably have to adjust to the new normal, which for many restaurateurs mean
Right.
shorter menu. It might be shorter menu because many
Right.
people
Right.
will be reporting
Right.
for work, or many have left, or many
Mm-hmm.
decided to go back to the province as
Right.
espoused by Senator Bongo. He wanted the Balik Provincia program. Maybe some have left, we don't know, in 2 months. And so we will have to work with shorter menu. Some might have logistical issues. You cannot bring in this, like for ourselves, L'Artisan, we used to bring in a lot of French oysters from the North
Uh-huh.
Atlantic
Uh-huh.
coast. But now, with COVID, I don't know if people still have the appetite. I still have the appetite to eat oysters. But if not, then we will have to curtail our menu for the moment.
Right, right. But
But
you
if you
know,
bake it, I
John,
guess it's, if you bake your
you're
oyster,
at
I guess it's
yes, yes. I'm so
if you bake your oyster,
excited to yeah, sorry, I keep interrupting. Yes, go ahead, John
that's
Lu.
okay. I think if oysters are baked, it should be okay
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
because we're
Okay.
quite well known for fresh oysters from France.
Okay. You know, John Lu, knowing you, for sure you're this is very you like that negative thing that's happening, but for a very seasoned and very good marketing, very brilliant marketing person like you, this one, I think you're having a grand time coming up with innovative ideas and business
Well,
plans, knowing you.
this is
You
Shelly.
like challenges.
This is a crisis we never lived through.
Uh-huh.
We never lived through. When we were in Paris early in January and in Germany till about first week of February, we never
Uh-huh.
thought that it could hit us within weeks. We thought it is something we could postpone, we could think about, we could probably avoid. We never thought. It was only when we entered NAIA that when we were told by the quarantine people that you have to self-quarantine for 14 days, that it dawned upon us that we are in crisis already. So we were never prepared. However, if you look at the Chinese word for crisis, as the cliche goes, crisis is made up of two words. It's opportunity and danger. So where is the
Uh-huh.
opportunity in
Uh-huh.
this crisis? I guess if you're all doing the same thing, at some point, some people will wilt away, will close, and you have to take on the slack. So it's an opportunity for you. Somehow also, along the way, you may have to realize that when habits of people change, it's like you're resetting the rules of the game of competition. So whoever is first in the market to deliver will get it. And I heard from many restaurateurs that many kitchenettes have sprung up
Mm-hmm.
from homes, doing everything excellently, enjoying competitive advantage that companies
Mm-hmm.
like ourselves are not used to. They don't pay much taxes,
Yeah.
etc. Where when we have to, and so on and so forth. So that is a threat.
Uh-huh.
And then there's also a threat of DIY meals. You get something, you have
Yes.
the this, plus the that. Go online, go YouTube. Oh, this is how
Yeah.
easy. 3 minute boil, put this, put that, and you get something above average quality. So something like if I were to send out
Oh yeah. Right.
a par baked pizza crust, I will send in the three cheese
Yes.
pizza. I will send in the 5 meats, and I'll even send in the very good Kalamata olives and the pizza sauce. I'm sure your son will be so ecstatic because this will be pizza on demand as long as your oven is working. Diba? Something like that.
Right. Right.
So this is
Right.
a threat and an opportunity for us. So for
Okay.
people
Right.
who are pessimistic, they will quit. For people who see the glass half full, they will never lose hope because after all, we started the business without much. We started the business without knowing too much. And now that we know too much
Yes.
more, some people are afraid to continue. This is really, really regretful.
But you know, John Lu, all businesses will close except your business. Knowing you will always think of something. Do you still teach
Thank you,
ba? No
Shelby.
more na. Do you still teach?
I
O
lecture
they
lang.
invite you do
Lecture
lectures.
lang. without pay.
Johnlu, before I say bye, do you realize you know that we're talking for 1.5 hours already and it's still
I
kulang.
did not
Where
realize.
I'm learning so many things from you and also our viewers. This is very informative. But before we say au revoir, can you give an a short inspiring message to the general public, to your restaurant patrons and to the general public?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Again, I just want you to know that we're very happy that you continue to patronize the food shops. Thanks if you're patronizing any one of my brands. French Baker, L'Artisan, Chatay, Masendo, Globake in Capitolio. Just want you to know that the government is trying their very best to address our concerns. As they say, konting tiis na lang. Uh, Personally, I have had dealings with DTI, with government, and they are really fully dedicated to make sure the market will reopen without much risk. They're just being very watchful. But they're trying their best to help us reopen as soon as possible. And also, we should also thank our malls. The malls have extended rent free for 2.5 months now. These they are in effect our ninongs. They are our saviors because by taking rent out of our books, it gave us a huge relief. And of course, everybody, when you go back to the mall by the end of the month, please naman, tell our fellow shoppers, please naman, for the sake of our country, pakidistansya na lang. Please na lang, paki-cover naman. Please naman, do not be careless. Please naman, respect other people. You are not sick, they might be sick. You are sick, they may not be sick. So please na lang, cover. And staying home is difficult, but you can still not stay home and stay alive. Ang laki naman ng mall. Di ba, Shelly? Sobrang laki.
Right, right. Yes,
Bakit mo
yes,
gusto magtumpul-tumpul sa isang
exactly,
lugar? Distansya lang.
exactly.
And then when the mall guards go and remind you, respect them naman. Because they also want the malls to remain open. Eh kung isa-shutdown na naman ng IATF, lahat tayo, pare-parehong talo.
Right.
I want to buy my computer gadget supplies. I want to go and eat. I want to buy this. I want to go to the hardware. I want to buy a pair of shoes. I want to go to the supermarket. I want to go to the dep store. And as I have told many fora in the past, ang mall ay napaka-safe dahil, Shelly, do you know that we have sophisticated air handling system? The mall takes the air
Oh,
many times over in a day. Hindi
oh.
kaya
All malls yan?
yung
Are
mga
we talking majority of the malls here?
nakikita niyo sa social media, hindi galing Pinas yan.
Okay.
Yung sa atin, sa mall, yung mga shoes namin, yung bags namin, for example, sa Escada, sa SM, sa S Maison, sa Shangri-La, sa Ayala Greenbelt, walang kadumi-dumi. Walang mga molds. Kasi ang air handling system is super galing. I can show you the photos when we went back after 2 months.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful pa rin. It's not true. The one who placed that post probably wanted to show you that it could happen, but it's not happening. We don't see anything happening here because the air is still being exchanged even when the mall is closed.
Right,
And because of the
right.
supermarkets too, when the supermarkets open, they have to turn on their air exchange system. So very safe talaga ang mall, and it's easy to control because there is one entrance, there is one exit. Nobody can exit through the roof, so to
You know,
speak.
Jalu, you should be the head of this mga IATF. You should be the ambassador of the social distancing and community quarantine protocols here. You should be the face.
America Mall. America Mall to do that. I will
No,
volunteer.
oh, you volunteer. I
And
think
then I
when
wear a
you're the
t-shirt.
one,
I wear a t-shirt that says "Going live with Shelly Lazaro."
exactly, yeah, and I do that, John Lu. I will send you and wear that all the
Send me
time.
a t-shirt.
Because when you're the one explaining, I think everybody will listen. And when you explain, kasi you don't just talk. There's always, you back it up, diba? With science, with studies. So that's why you're very credible
And
and
Shelly,
believable.
In Mega Mall, I take my Xiaomi Nano Segway around, so I can go around the mall within 5 minutes. I'm back, so I
Okay.
can wear a t-shirt and say, "Let's distance with
Okay.
Shelly Lazaro."
Oh, with Shelly. Oh, I'll do that. I'll have I'll send it to you right away. John Lu, thank you for spending close to 2 hours with us.
You're very welcome.
I know you're a very busy person, but thank you for taking time. I really appreciate it, and all the learnings that we get now. Very lucky our viewers. Diba, libre. Very if you want a lecture from John Lucoa, you will have to enroll. Mahal na course, but now we're getting it for free. Thank you, John Lu. And
Thank you, everyone.
please stay healthy. Send my regards also to Alu, and I hope to see you guys soon when it's safe to go out and socialize again. And I will definitely call French Baker because I'm missing already my favorite chicken salad croissant. I don't go to French Baker without ordering that. Thank you, John Lu. Oh, that's my favorite from French
Thank you.
Baker. So I'll
Thank
see
you.
you again soon. Yeah. So take care, stay healthy, and keep inspiring and educating the Filipino people.
Thank you.
Bye, John Lu. Bye. See you soon. Okay, viewers, that was a very informative and scientific discussion. Not just of French baking, pati na rin si John Lu touch on mga government's protocols and precautionary measures. It's good to hear this stuff because we've only been hearing negative things. But yes, I really appreciate John Lu's very comprehensive sharing. Thanks again, John Lu, and more power to the French baker and your other brands. Chat Time, Mazendo, and what is the other brand? Lartisan. And Globic. I didn't know that John Lucoa also owns Globic. I always buy the ube hopia there sa Pioneer area. Okay, guys. Thanks again for joining us this afternoon. On Wednesday, we will be talking naman to the owner of the Plaza Catering and the very famous, my favorite, the Plaza Premium Bake Ham, Carla Reyes. So please watch out for that. Same time, 4 p.m. Let's find out what's happening in the catering industry. And also, Carla Reyes will share some of the food trends and the innovations that the Plaza is introducing and will introduce in the coming days, weeks, and months. Okay, so let me announce the winner of last Friday's Comment to Win contest, Heart Blanco Elizon. So hi Heart, I know her personally. Thanks for joining us last Friday. If you're watching, you won a special gift from Going Live with Shelly Lazaro. You got it correct, Pahiyas Festival, because last Friday we had with us the owners of Body's Pancit Lukban restaurant. So my question was, what's the name of the famous event in Lukban, Quezon? So she's the first to type in the correct answer. Congratulations, Heart! I hope you're watching and I hope you're well and safe. Going Live with Shelly Lazaro team will send you a message as to how we can get the prize to you. Okay, comment to win contest now. My question is, if you're listening, we've discussed a lot of topics when it comes to breads and baking. What do you call this bread that is made of yeast and lactobacilli. It has a sour taste. Ayan, I give away na that one. What do you call this bread? It has to be the correct spelling. What do you call the bread that is made by yeast fermentation? And it has lactobacilli also. It has a sour taste. It has to be the correct spelling. So the first one to type in the correct answer will get a special gift from Going Live with Shelly Lazaro. Okay, guys, thanks for being with us. We're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Net25 TV, and Eagle Broadcasting Media channels. Please also support our regular TV program on Net25, Going Live with Shelly Lazaro, coming to you very soon, every Saturday, 10 a.m., lifestyle, magazine, entertainment, and advocacy talk show. And as I've said at the start of the show, if any of you are interested for partnerships, collaborations, and TV and online marketing, please send us an email, sales at goinglivewithshellylazaro.com. Our TV commercial placement rates are also on sale. So it's your chance now to have your commercials aired at super cheap price na lang. So send us an email and our sales team and marketing team will get in touch with you right away. Okay, we are simultaneously broadcasting in 155 countries, and we have a multi-platform thing, TV, online, community programs, everything. So you'll get huge mileage from your marketing and advertising placements. Okay, so I'll see you again on Wednesday. Meantime, you can catch me and Aiden on Pambansang Almusal, the daily morning show of Net25. We have stay-at-home tips segment there. Okay, lovies, thank you for being with us for more than an hour and a half. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.